بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, and from Him do we seek help. All praise be to Allah, the Sustainer of all the worlds, and blessings and peace be upon our Master Muhammad, and on all his family and companions. The fifth truth, the gate of compassion and Muhammadan worship, the manifestation of the names of Answerer of Prayer and Compassionate. Is it at all possible that a Lord possessing infinite compassion and mercy, who most compassionately fulfills the smallest need of his lowliest creatures in the most unexpected fashion, who heeds the muffled plea for help of his most obscure creature, and who responds to all the petitions he hears, whether vocal or mute? Is it at all possible that such a Lord should not pay heed to the greatest petition of the foremost among his servants, the most beloved among his creatures, that he should not hear and grant his most exalted prayer? The kindness and ease manifested in the feeding and nurturing of weak and young animals show that the monarch of the cosmos exercises his dominicality with infinite mercy. Is it at all possible that a compassion merciful to this degree in the exercise of dominicality should not accept the prayer of the most virtuous and beautiful of all creation? Footnote number 13. He whose kingdom has lasted 1,350 years, who has generally had more than 350 million subjects, to whom his subjects daily renew their pledge of allegiance, and to whose perfections they continually bear witness, whose commands are obeyed in perfect submission, whose spiritual hue has coloured half of the globe and a fifth of mankind, who is the beloved of men's hearts and educator of their spirits. Such a being is without doubt the greatest servant of the Lord who holds sway over the universe. Also, since most of the realms of beings applauded that being's function and duty through each bearing the fruit of his miracles, he is for sure the most beloved creature of the fashioner of the cosmos. Similarly, the desire for perpetuity existing in all men by virtue of their very nature, a desire that lifts men from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high, is the greatest of all desires and petitions, fit to be presented to the provider of all needs only by the greatest among his servants. This truth is explained in the 19th word, but let us repeat our statement of matter here. O friend, listening to these words together with my own soul, we said in the comparison that a meeting took place on a certain island, and a most noble commander delivered a speech there. In order to find out the truth indicated in the comparison, come, let us depart from this age, and in our mind and imagination travel to the Arabian Peninsula in the blessed age of the Prophet, in order to visit and watch him while he is performing his duties and engaging in worship. See, just as he is the means for the attainment of eternal bliss, by means of his messengerhood and guidance, so too he is the cause for the existence of that bliss, and the means for the creation of paradise, by means of his worship and prayer. Now see, that being is praying for eternal bliss in such supreme supplication, with such sublime worship, that it is as if this island, or even the whole world, were praying and supplicating together with him. For the worship he performs contains within itself not only the worship of the community that follows him, but also that of all the other prophets in its essential form, by virtue of the correspondence existing between him and them. Moreover, he performs his supreme prayer and offers his supplications in such a vast congregation that it is as if all luminous and perfect men, from the time of Adam down to the present, were following him in prayer and saying Amen to his supplications. Footnote number 14. From the time that the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, first made his supplication down to the present, all the invocations upon him of peace and blessings made by his community are a kind of eternal Amen to his prayer, a form of universal participation in it. Every invocation of peace and blessings upon him by every member of the Muslim community in the course of his prayer, as well as the prayer for him uttered after the second call to prayer, according to the Shafi school, this too is a powerful and universal Amen to his supplication for eternal bliss. So the eternity and everlasting bliss desired by all men with all their strength, in accordance with their primordial disposition, is requested in the name of humanity by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. And the luminous segment of humanity says Amen after him. Is it at all possible that such a prayer should not be accepted? He is praying for so universal a need, immortality, that not merely the people of this earth, but also the inhabitants of the heavens and the entirety of creation are participating in his supplications, and silently proclaiming, Yes, O Lord, grant his prayer, we too desire it. He petitions for everlasting bliss with such touching sadness, in so yearning, so longing, and so pleading a fashion, that he causes the whole of the cosmos to weep and thus to share in his prayer. See, he desires and prays for bliss, for such a purpose and goal that he elevates man and all creatures from captivity in the abysmal state of utter annihilation, from worthlessness, uselessness, and purposelessness, to the apex of preciousness, eternity, exalted function, and the rank of being a script penned by Allah. See, he makes his petition with such elevated plea for succour, makes his supplication with so sweet a request for mercy, that it is as if he caused all beings, the heavens and Allah's throne, to listen, and to echo his prayer ecstatically with cries of Amen, O Lord.